everyone, welcome to the WION Sports Broadband Edition with me, Digvijay Singh. Now, over the last 5 weeks, we've been speaking to prominent voices in Indian sport about life in lockdown and also the postponement of the Olympic Games. Today, we are joined by an international guest. I'm joined by shooting legend Daniele Di Spigno from Italy. He's just outside of Rome. He's a two-time senior world champion as well. Daniele, thank you so much for your time. I must begin by asking you that the last 2 months must have been extremely difficult.
Yeah, hi all. And here in Italy, the situation has been very, very bad in the last 2 months, as you were saying. But we are slowly going out from this pandemic emergency. And today is 4th May, and after tomorrow, many regions in Italy will open again. Some shops, the life will start to be not normal, but we are trying to go slowly out of the lockdown.
Yes, but the numbers, Daniele, are staggering of what your country has gone through. Close to 30,000 deaths, over 200,000 cases of this coronavirus. As a society, as an Italian society, this is going to be a very difficult time to forget.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something totally new, but not only for Italy. I think for all the world, because the lockdown affects not only the personal life, but also the economic part of the country, and many shops are closed. There are bar, restaurant, only the essential office are working now, and also the economic effect has been very, very terrible in the last 2 months. But the main problem it will be what will happen in the next 2 months, because many people, of course, the worst part of this pandemic has been more than around 30,000 deaths. And also, if you think that also the funeral, who lost the parents, who lost friends, at the end, the last time that they saw them was when they went to the hospital. And then after that, there were no chance to have a video call or to say the last hello. And they just know that they are close somewhere and done. It's horrible if you think that lose something and don't be there to say the last, to give the last kiss, to say the last hello. It's terrible. This is one of the worst part. There has been a city in which the pandemic arrived so strong that the hospitals and the people were not ready, and so many people died in the same day that the governor of the city had to call the army to remove the people dead. So with the army truck, they carry all the dead in a place, and they are still there waiting to be placed where one day their parents can go there to bring a flower or just make a prayer. And this is the first and the most concrete things that happen during this pandemic situation. After that,
it sounds actually, Daniele, the way you're talking about it, it actually sounds so horrible. But for you personally, you have been to 4 Olympic Games, you've been 2-time senior world champion, 2-time junior world champion, you've won multiple medals in World Cups, so many gold medals you have won. Sport teaches you how to deal with adversity, but how difficult has this period personally been for you?
Well, with my experience, what I suggested to the shooters that I'm coaching and the people that are around me is to take care, stay house, and be patient, because the health comes before everything. And lose 1 month or 2 months, but protect the parents, protect the family, protect the people around us with our way to do. So staying at home and do some other exercise or just wait is a moment in which our mental strength had to be stronger than usually, because we know what we have to do. We want to have training, we want to live our sport life, but we also know that we have to wait to come back without lose time, stronger than before.
Okay. Daniele, we were reading here horrific reports, and you were mentioning it as well, about how one city had so many problems and doctors, and they were not prepared. But we read horrific stories here as well, thanks to the internet, about how lots of doctors, healthcare officials died. It was like they sort of gave up, that we can't save lives, just stay at home. So all through this crisis, this chaos, how was it living through all this as a citizen?
Well, if when I go out to the grocery or to buy something, is so strange. We have to keep the distance. We have to wear the mask. And what happened till now is terrible. But we are ready to go ahead, to go forward. So after tomorrow, some sport activities will start again. Also, always with social distancing. So we can go out for a run, but alone. We can go to shooting range, but only the shooter and the coach. And so slowly we are trying to go back to normalities. But also this phase that the government call phase 2. In this phase, we have to take care, because the pandemic is not over, and the recommendation of the government is this: yes, it's not over. We are trying to go out, but we need the effort of the people to don't forget that this pandemic is always behind the corner, and there is not a vaccine yet, and till there is not the vaccine, everything is under risk. So take care, let's try, let's do our best, but slowly.
Okay. Now this is the period, actually, May, June, July, August, September, when Italy earns a lot of revenue through tourism. It's one of the main sources of tourism. You spoke about restaurants, bars, everything being shut at the moment. There's also another problem which is surrounding Italy and almost of the other countries as well. But particularly because you're from Italy, I need to ask you that, is the one of the finances, the economy. The pandemic, you may gradually start phase 2 and reopen, but the economy has taken a massive hit, and recession is a huge concern right now because people cannot earn their money with no tourists coming into the country.
Well, consider that the economy in Italy, that as you are saying, is a lot founded on tourism. This year it will be tragic. I heard that more than 90% of booking has been deleted. The government is trying to understand how and when go to the beach, if we can stay 2 meters far, trying to understand how to respect the social distancing in the restaurant. And because of this, many people are losing their work. So if from one side there is a problem that the tourism will not start so strongly as usually, there is also the other problem that many people are not working. So consequently, also the salary is not there, and a lot of people are still waiting for the helps of government to go ahead. The government gave last month something like 600 euros for workers, but 600 euros actually in Italy is probably enough to pay just the light, water, and the rent of the shops. But if someone has not yet in the bank or in the pocket something to go ahead, barber shops, to say one, barber shops next month can open. Only people can go inside one by one, and not more than one every 2 hours. So it means that the barber shops can do only 5 or 6 customers in one day. And if you think for a barber shop is nothing, they cannot pay the salary for the workers of the shops. The owner of the shops cannot pay the salary for the workers because don't need it, you know. So that the barber shops at the restaurant, imagine a restaurant with 100 seats. Next month we will open, and probably 20, 25 people will be allowed to stay in. But can you open a restaurant for 100 persons only for 25 persons? At the end, most of them will say, okay, you know what, I don't open. Because if I open, I work and I lose money. So it's better that I don't work. And this is what's happening, and this is what will happen. So masks, everything, we have to take care about it. I live in a city where there is the beach, and I born, and I usually spend my day from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening on the beach, swimming, playing soccer with my friends. Also, I have 2 sons. One daughter is 6 years old, one boy is 12 years old. They are scared because they are saying, why I have to go to the beach if I cannot play with my friends? No, if I cannot play with the sand or have a swim together with my friends. What do we do? Something that is everybody are forgetting is we are adult, so we can manage it. But let's think also to the kids, how they're approaching that. My daughter yesterday was crying because Dad, is more than 1 month and a half that I don't see any of my friends. You know, the kids need the contact, need the touch, need to also to grow, need to stay in contact. While the adult can live in social distancing because we can talk, you can use Zoom like as we are doing. But the kids need to live, need to play, need all of this to grow. And what to say? Is everything so new that we have only take care, stay close, to need more helps to go ahead this situation, and do our best, helping the small activities. Don't use, for example, the shops online, no, but helps the little shop near the home, because the real strength of a city and the real strength of an economic are the little shop around us. So we have to take care and don't think to save €1 or 10 rupees, but helps them, people that are around us, that are also our community.
Okay, the way you put it was perhaps explaining what Italy will go through and what people like us, even in India, we're under lockdown. So we are also going through the same problems. I also have an 8-year-old son, so he's been in home for the last almost 2 months now. So I completely agree with what you are saying. Just changing focus, Daniele, and just talking about sport. How has Italian sport and Italian sports persons fared through this entire last 2 months?
Well, the sports is governed by the National Olympic Committee. After the National Olympic Committee, there is the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, and the idea to postpone the Olympic Games to 2021, of course, give a big breath to all the sports around the world. The athletes were ready, were doing the last step to prepare the Olympic Games. Now we have to reschedule everything. I'm also in the athletes committee of the ISSF, and the ISSF decided to delete all the competition of this year, the official and international competition. Of course, probably in September there will be some small competition, but not valid for the qualification for the Olympic Games. So we had to reschedule the season. About shooting, for example, we had to consider this February, March, May, June, as if it was October, November, December, January. Like all the sports have a break during the year. We had to reschedule this, considering these 4 months as a break of the season. And after that, when we can practice the sports in the best safe condition, start again for the planning. So our August, our July, our August 2020 will be like January. We have to start from the beginning with the dry training, with the dry practice, focusing more on the physical training more than on the techniques that usually and shooter athletes in August is on the top of his performance. So we have to delete everything.
Okay, I just want to ask you one more specific question on what you just said. Now, for the last 2 months, at least 2 months, which is basically March and April completely now, there has been virtually no training. You said the Olympics got postponed, but there's been no training. How much time will it take for an elite athlete to reach his peak, considering the time which has already elapsed without any training?
Well, about our sport, the season has been blocked at the beginning. So I don't think that so many athletes were already at their top. The preparation was at the beginning. The ISSF did only 1 World Cup on shotgun in Cyprus. And but there were still the World Ranking Open, another the World Cup in India then has been deleted, and of course the Olympic Games in this year. So reset, as I told you, we have to reset and forget this year. Simply forget. How much time the elite sportsmen need? 3, 4, 5 months. But if we start 3, 4, 5 months now, means September, October, November. And it means that September, October, November, the season is over. Normally is over. So we have not to rush now. Probably other sports have to, because they have their World Championship or their World Cup is usually scheduled in October, November, December. Not for shooting. Shooting October, the season is end. So work now at our 200% to be ready in October for nothing. So it's better to stay calm, stay home, follow as I told you before, what we usually do at the beginning of the season, doing some dry works with the shotgun, some physical work at home. I know that a lot of athletes, a lot of shooters have their personal physical coach that they are helping them with the video. We are talking about elite sportsmen, so most of the time is enough that the coach have a look. Don't need to stay there to explain the exercise, because the elite athletes already know the exercise that they have to do. So delete the season, wait October, November to without lose. Of course, when I say wait, doesn't mean stay on the couch watching the TV, but do that little that minimum training, so that for example, to my athletes, I'm suggesting to work on the increase of the strength now. Is something that I never asked in March or April or in May, because otherwise handle the gun, mount the gun is a problem if I increase my muscle, if I stress, if I'm tired. But it's something that they can do now. There are no competition. There is no training on a shooting range. Okay, work on the strength. We will use these 2-3 months work on the strength, so that in October, in November, when we meet again, we are stronger than now. And if we need to shot 300 targets more than 200, our body will be ready to do this.
But your sport of shooting, Daniele, is also a very mental sport. And right now, a lot of athletes across India, which I've spoken to, have spoken about the importance of mentally being healthy, because there is obviously anxiety. There is obviously a desperation, because a lot of players are dependent on prize money, and a lot of professional players also, with no tournaments happening, there is no money coming as well. Is that something all coaches like you will have to focus on right now, to talk to players to help them get over this anxiety, this mental barrier at the moment? That's very important right now.
Allora, so work without a goal, without a target, without a competition that is approaching, is very hard. I'm suggesting my athletes to work some time on the strength, some time on the visualization on the competition. But I understand that it's very hard. I'm the first to say that if I have no a competition close, if I have not a goal to reach, and I have to wait till I don't know when, it's very hard. It's very hard. Yes, mental training, visualization, everything, but is everything so new? And in what I'm suggesting to my athletes is to work a little bit, and about the visualization, about the mental exercise, do as better as they can, to don't just, as I told you, sit and wait, to keep a little bit more active. If you think that I cannot ask to an athlete to work on visualization, on mental training now in March, when their next competition, on their next time they will mount the gun, will be in December. They say, coach, I have to do 6 months of visualization. I would be crazy. 6 months only of visualization, because all is in the preparation of the competition, in the training of a sportsman, everything had to go together, side by side. The physical training, the technical training, and also the mental training. We cannot separate it. So now the technical training is over. Competition are over. So strength and mental training. Be focused during the exercise, because if I do the exercise just to do, because okay, 10 minutes done, doesn't help. But do that focused, thinking to the correctness of the movement, feeling how the body works, is a kind of mental training that help us to be focused on ourselves. That is something that we can use in the future. But you agree with me that my athletes are in India now. I'm here. We sometimes chat on WhatsApp. We made a couple of video calls, but it's near to impossible to think, to ask them, okay, do only visualization and mental training for next 6 months. They say, okay, no, they will drive crazy.
Okay, but Daniele, you mentioned that you were on the ISSF Athletes Commission as well. By what point of time do you think sport needs to resume? International sport, not just practicing in your country, but international sport needs to resume for the Olympics to actually happen, because Japan has already said that, the Olympics may not happen if no vaccine is found. But it's not correct to only see athletes train at home in their home ranges or in camps and go to the Olympics. There needs to be competition. You need to be able to compete in tournaments. By when do you think the international shooting or international sport has to resume for the Olympics to happen? Is there a cutoff? You think by March next year you have to have all sorts of this competition to start?
What to say? It's a worldwide problem. So one of the principles of the Olympic Charter is that the competition have to be open to all the countries. So we can do our practice or do some competition inside our country, but first of all, there is the health of the athletes, the coach, the organizers, and everything. I hope that August or September, the worldwide situation will be much better. And also to this question is a personal opinion. I think next 3-4 months will be very important, but there is also another problem that not the world starts with this pandemic in the same moment. So at the beginning was China. China was in lockdown. Now China is open, more or less. So, but Europe is in lockdown, and USA also, not Africa, for example, not Australia. So what happens if the Europe, Asia, and USA will be open, but the coronavirus will arrive in Australia? How can we think to have a competition without the Oceania's continent? So the situation to be fully open and to be fully ready and all around the world. Also, the vaccine, the test, the blood test, the test in the mouth are not yet 100% sure about the result. So I know that the OMS, the organization, the World Organization of Sanity, in Italy we call OMS, and is working about it. The situation has to be clean all around the world. Japan says that the situation, if the situation is not completely clean in 2021, the Olympic will be deleted. I agree. We cannot consider that in the competition, in the Olympic Games, all shooters live in the village. This is the Olympic village. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people that go and back daily. They eat all together. They sleep all together. It's impossible to do a social distancing. And the health of the athletes is more important than compete. Imagine what happened in Olympic village if someone goes without know it, because sometimes you cannot see if you have this coronavirus. Someone is asymptomatic. So, and for the sport it's horrible to think only one this thing. I hope that the doctor will find the vaccine as soon as possible, so that we can go back to our normal life, and also the sports, of course.
Okay, because you're talking about returning to normal life, and you spoke at the beginning about Italy slowly allowing training in sport. There is also talk that Serie A, your football season, could once again resume. Big question mark still over the date. But how essential is it, Daniele, for sport to resume right now? Because it could give people some kind of hope. It could give them something to look forward to. You think that in countries where it can resume, that sporting activity should resume as soon as it is safe?
I don't agree to the starts again of the soccer championship. I don't agree. Because above all, because there is this asymptomatic situation of this coronavirus. So we had 22 players on the field with the contact as the soccer has, or from one side. From the other side, imagine a stadium only with 22 players, without spectators. So behind the soccer, there are so many economic interests that probably they are watching more that interest than the true importance of the sports, because sports is health, and health is not to play team sports now. Someone is forgetting it, considering more important the economic parts more than the health of the athletes, and at the same time of the sport life. Because if you consider soccer, 22 players and 50,000 spectators, the last match that one of the last match that they played in Italy, probably the stadium was empty, and the players also say, okay, no, we cannot play like this. It's not the same. We are playing for what? I goal and there is no one. Sports is also this, no? Is to share my happiness when I win a medal or when I score a goal. But if there is no one to share it, it's for me, yes. But at the end, we lose it. We lose the real importance of what we feel.
Final question to you, Daniele. The worst, thankfully or hopefully, is over for some parts of Italy, and hopefully Italy sorts of gets back to normal as soon as possible. But for you personally, what has been the learning and what are the lessons of this period, last 2 months of immense chaos, immense concern, immense tension? What has been the learning for you, and what do you think that we need to take on board for the future?
Well, what I learned in these 2 months is that too many times, we focus our life on the work. We go out early morning, we come back late. We have no time for the kids. We don't leave the family. What I learned in these 2 months is the importance to stay with my family, above all with my kids. That sometimes I see them half an hour during the day because they go school early morning, they come back, probably I'm working, or probably I'm outside, I'm in India to work, and I'm really enjoying my time with them. This morning I was in late with you for this video call because I was studying with my son. I was helping in math, so I discover a new life as teacher, not only as coach. So, but it's nice stay near to them and leave them daily, even if it's daily, 20 hours, 24 hours, a little bit too much. It's not easy. But so what I learned is calm, patience. Life will go back. Our life will go back, and we have to take with us this experience that stay and use a part of our day to stay with our family, working a little bit less at the end, just a little bit less, but give sometimes to people, to parents, to family is probably much more important, and with the speed of the life that in this century we are working, probably we are forgetting it.
Okay, slowing down perhaps a bit, enjoying those small things in life that we took for granted. As you said, Daniele, we know you as a great shooter, we know you as a great shooting coach, but now we shall also know you as a budding maths teacher as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I hope that all of you stay safe. As you said during this interview, the lockdown may be opening up, but there is the battle over the coronavirus is still not over. So hopefully we all collectively sort of beat this virus, and then we shall meet you when you are back here in India. Thank you so much for your time, Daniele.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you soon. Take care and stay home.